I am brave. I am loved. I am beautiful. These are some of the powerful affirmations that Powerpants prints on their organic underwear. Listen in to find out why self-love is a message that Kylie is desperate to share with every woman. So tell us a bit about Kylie and why Powerpants.
Okay, well, a little bit about me. I guess some words to describe me is I'm pretty excited about a lot of things. I'm a very passionate person. I'm a bit of a rebel. I would say I push the boundaries. I always have. I was definitely a difficult child, and I'm paying for that now with my own children. They like to push the boundaries too. I like a prank.
Yep.
And I'm a mum of 3 little ones.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off. I grew up in Melbourne. I'm a complete coffee addict. I think I've drank coffee every day since I was a little kid. But yeah, most of my family are still down in Melbourne, as well as my best friend. But I found myself now on the northern beaches of Sydney, which is beautiful. My happy place.
And
I love
which
the beach.
Which city's better? I'm sure there'll be a few people listening from Sydney or Melbourne. There's a big debate between them.
The rivalry. I love them equally.
Yeah.
Melbourne's home. Melbourne, there's so many people dear to me in Melbourne, and I love the culture of Melbourne. But I do love the beach, which,
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. So we've heard a bit about the vivacious and exciting Kylie. Now, the Powerpants brand, can you tell us a bit about that and sort of your inspiration behind starting Powerpants?
Yeah, of course. I guess my career background, I've had a long career in business development, and most recently in the health industry, which is a little bit different to what I'm doing here with Powerpants. But I guess moving into the health industry was a real turning point for me to see businesses that can make a real positive impact in the world. And from that point on, I'm committed to only working on projects or in businesses that are going to make a positive impact in the world. So Powerpants came to me as a business idea a couple of years back now. I was on parental leave after I had my 3rd little one. At the time, I was quite interested in ethical fashion, looking at lots of natural products, superfoods, cleaning products, sort of getting into the natural lifestyle. Yeah.
You went very holistic with it, it sounds. It wasn't just a one factor. You tried to change your whole lifestyle.
Yeah, look, and I think a lot of people can get really overwhelmed by how many things they can be doing. So I wouldn't say I went holistically, but I did little things at a time. And if I look at my life now, 2 years late or 3 years later, I've changed so many things in my daily habits to be a little bit more natural and eco-friendly.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a process. You can't do everything overnight. Like you said, it can get very daunting and can get a bit intimidating if you have to change everything perfectly in 24 hours. So makes complete sense. Yeah. And it's a beautiful... Go, sorry.
Well, eco-guilt is a real thing.
Yeah, for sure.
You can, when you start thinking about all the things that you should be doing, you can really just have a meltdown. But, changing one little habit at a time is the way I've approached it.
Yeah, no, I think that's a very, very sustainable way, pardon the pun, but a sustainable part of your life to do that. It's also sustainable overall for the environment, which is fantastic. And going a bit more narrower into the Powerpants brand, the thing that really struck me about Powerpants is that each garment comes with those beautiful affirmations inscribed on them, such as "I am beautiful." Can you just shed a bit of light on why you use those affirmations and some of the other ones that you use? So I just mentioned the "I am beautiful," but I know you've got a few other ones. Can you just sort of dive deeper into that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've personally used affirmations for years. I found that changing the way I spoke to myself, it seriously changed my life.
Yeah.
And I guess one of my other interest areas is brain science. And I completely geek out and read a huge amount of books on brain science and mental health. And I guess that sort of goes in with the work I've done in the health industry. Yep. But one of the concepts that I did come across, it was called enclothed cognition. And essentially what that means is that we become what we wear. And there was this scientific study where the subjects, the people involved in the study, they actually performed better in cognitive tests when they were wearing lab coats versus when they were wearing their regular clothes. So, it's quite powerful that what we put on can make us change who we are. And I thought it was a really, that was where the idea came together for me, that if we put these affirmations that I found so powerful for myself personally on a pair of underwear, can that actually change the way we feel?
Okay, interesting. So you almost play the character. So using that lab coat example, do people tend to play the character a lot more? So if you inscribe on the underwear, I am beautiful, people do believe that they are beautiful. Is that what the study was suggesting?
Yeah, look, it was, the lab coat, but it sort of translates into taking on what you wear. And when you think about it, when you dress up and you wear something special that you've spent a lot of money on, and it can even be something that's been made ethically with organic fabrics, for example, you just feel better.
Yeah.
But taking on the affirmations, they really do make a difference.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. And what are some of the other ones? So we mentioned I am beautiful. What are the other ones that you use?
Yeah, personal favorite is I am brave.
Yeah.
We've got I am blessed, I am loved, I am strong, I am grateful, I am happy. We've got some more coming in the pipeline, and what I typically do when I'm looking for some inspo, I'll go out on the socials and ask followers to suggest some affirmations for us. And then I will completely immerse myself in the affirmation. So I'll research all the science behind the affirmation, some hacks to feeling that way, and pull together all the best bits of what I discover into a little affirmation card. And they're sent out with the pants. So you don't just get the pants to tell you you were brave.
Yep.
You get a little card to tell you how to feel brave and what feeling brave means.
That's beautiful. And I think you've almost touched on the next question, which is how do they empower women who make them, and how do they empower the women who wear them? So I think maybe the first part of the question maybe I haven't touched on as much, about how it empowers. How do you empower the makers?
Yeah, well, I guess if people are listening to this podcast, they're probably acutely aware of the poor conditions and pay that often garment makers receive when they're making our clothes. So by ensuring that our garment makers, which are mostly women, are paid and treated fairly, we are empowering them. So, where by empowering them financially, money buys freedom. So where they can afford to have some choice in their life, and financial empowerment is definitely a way to empower women. The other part of the question, I guess, the women who wear them. Yep. I guess when we look at having a choice to buy a product from brands that put people and the planet ahead of products, we really have the power to change the world. We have the power to change our communities by supporting women, not just the makers, but our Powerpants. We contribute $1 from every pair sold to supporting female survivors of violence.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And I guess, the third point you alluded to was that, the power to change our lives by speaking kindly to ourselves.
Yeah. I think that's fantastic. I think the more empowered women we have in the world, the better the world will be. So, I think I and many people commend what you're doing. So in the past, we've spoken about how you personally and the Powerpants brand are passionate about supporting female survivors of violence. Can you please shed some light on how you do this and what you hope to achieve in the future through the Powerpants brand?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess, to start with personally, a decade ago, I was in a relationship that ended violently. And I was lucky to survive. I was lucky I didn't become one of those statistics. One woman every week in Australia is killed by a partner or former partner. And I was also lucky that I had the support of the justice system. I had counselling. I had friends and family that helped me get me back on my feet, and also to feel safe again. And I was also lucky I had the financial resources and the earning capacity to, rebuild my life, set myself up in my new home. And I also, at the time, I didn't have children to support. So, I consider myself pretty lucky in that experience. And, I know for myself how hard that journey was to rebuild my confidence. And I can only imagine how much more difficult it would have been had I had, if I didn't have all of those other things. So this is why I want the brand to help other female survivors of violence. And we chose Papua New Guinea as the location where we wanted to support women, because it's actually one of the most dangerous places in the world to be a woman. There's two out of 3 women in Papua New Guinea. They've survived physical or sexual violence. And often in the case of domestic violence, it's considered a family matter by police. So it's not even recognised as something that is wrong often. And on top of that, these women, they don't have the support services to escape violence. So our funds and the contributions that we make can really, really make an impact.
Okay, yeah, that's fantastic, Kylie. And I really appreciate your bravery and honesty in sharing such a personal story there. And it really is humbling to hear how you're trying to sort of pay it forward in trying to support other women locally in Australia and also Papua New Guinea. And once again, I'd like to commend your work, because it is truly fantastic. And you touch upon how you are helping a lot of women and doing some really great things. Have there been any sort of customer success stories as a result of some of these powerful affirmations, or what are some of the knock-on benefits of the great work you're doing with the Powerpants brand, whether it be individually or more from a community point of view?
Yeah, and I guess just to go back to your point about my bravery in sharing my story, because it did take me 10 years to say it out loud. And a lot of my very, very close friends didn't even know about my history, and essentially a huge event in my life that really shaped who I am. So, it's only really been in the last 12 months that I've started to share my story. And in doing that, so many women have, responded to me and, shared their story with me. So that's been an additional bonus from working on Powerpants that I wasn't expecting, really, really connecting with other women that have been through that experience and building their confidence and letting go of the shame that they connect with what happened to them. And I guess it's, what really changed for me was seeing myself as somebody that was strong, not as a victim, to see myself as a survivor. And I'm not the person that let it happen to me. I'm the person that's rebuilt my life following what had happened. So anyway, that was just a bit of a side note, but
it's a great side note.
In terms of the affirmations, so I receive a surprising number of photos of my girlfriends sitting on the toilet, because I'm that kind of friend, but it's the kind of time where we go, and it may be a busy and stressful day at work, it may be a stressful day with the kids, and it's when we go into the toilet that we take that breath, and that's often when we need to have that little boost and to see that affirmation and that little reminder can be so incredibly helpful. And, you know, I really just love the stories when I hear from women, you know, they have worn them to performances, public speaking, going into hospital and saying, wow, it actually really worked. I did feel a little bit braver or stronger or more beautiful when I needed to. So, you know, that's incredible. But another thing that's really surprised me with the brand was I thought, well, I need to make the packaging Instagrammable because no one's going to share a photo of themselves in their underwear. And well, haven't I been surprised? So, you know, I've been overwhelmed with a response from women actually putting on their Powerpants and sharing their heart and their soul with the world about what the affirmation means to them. So that's been really incredible too.
Yeah, I'm sure that would be amazing. And they're all great stories there of yourself empowering women and moving forward for 2020 and beyond. What are the plans for Powerpants?
Yeah, so, you know, we launched in 2019. So, you know, I guess we launched with one style, one color, lots of different affirmations, but one style, one color. And 2020 is about expanding our product range. So we have a thong in the pipeline that's coming very soon. Different colors, of course, and then expanding into other countries. We've had a lot of interest from people in other locations, you know, wanting to get their hands on some Powerpants because we're solely available in Australia right now.
Okay. Yeah, and just touching upon sort of the international reach, do you know if there's any other brands internationally that are doing sort of affirmation-based underwear? I know it's a niche industry. But do you know if there's any other companies doing that type of thing with a female empowerment ethos behind it?
Not that I have seen. I mean, it wasn't, you know, this was an idea that came to me and to kind of do some Googling to find a brand that's maybe doing exactly the same. I didn't come across it, but who knows?
Yeah. No,
you know, Yeah,
well, hopefully you can be, you know, let's just assume that you are one of the first and you can be a trailblazer internationally.
Yeah.
I think the more women who can read, you know, every day that they are beautiful, that they are brave, can only be a great thing for women worldwide. So fingers crossed that international expansion goes well for 2020 and hopefully the next decades. But
thank you.
Kylie, I really appreciate your time today and chatting on the podcast. I'm sure lots of people got some great value from it, and there's some really sort of personal, deep, and humbling stories that hopefully has inspired maybe just one woman listening to share their story and to feel empowered and to be the best version of themselves. Because as you would know, you know, sometimes it can be very difficult. But, you know, you've said there how, you know, when you are saying it out loud, you know, although it may have taken you 9-10 years to do, they have inspired so many more women, you know, to feel empowered, to feel brave. So once again, probably the third time I've said this, it's truly commendable what you're doing, Kylie, and sincerely wish you all the best for the future.
Oh, thanks so much, Jordan. And thank you for what you're doing with the podcast. It's, you know, it's really great for brands like us to have an opportunity to share our story.
You're welcome, Kylie. Thank you very much. And we'll talk soon.
Chat soon.
Thank you so much for listening. It really does mean the world. If you like what you heard, please leave a nice review. And if you have any feedback or want to recommend a guest, and yes, that can include you love yourself, please email me at jordan@stridestore.com.au.